obviously this was kind of to set up this Azir pick that went fantastically for them, so I'm very interested to see how that goes.
Well, it looks like we are going to jump into this draft, and we are going to do it from over the shoulder, just because there seems to be a little bit of a problem with the client. So guys, I'll allow you to talk us through this one.
Sure, right. So far, nothing too special. Kalista banned from the red side, Caitlyn and Ziggs on the blue. Not too surprised to see it. We know that Krumel's been playing quite a bit of Ziggs, so, you know, taking it away, just such a strong control mage. Not surprised to see that banned away. And Kalista and Caitlyn are both tier 1 AD carries. Again, sort of no surprises as of yet. Azir ban, though,
yeah,
that is a clear
I was going to say,
to avoid the tilt.
If the Xerath was intended to counter Azir, probably not have much more responses to that pick. So yeah, take it away. Incredibly obnoxious champion to deal with. The Kalista red side ban as well, not surprising. A lot of AD carries actually getting taken away, trying to reduce Inax's pool as much as possible.
Yeah, well, you know, from this point onwards, you know, there's not the not the greatest number of AD carries still left to pick. You know, obviously you can fall back to the Ashe or something again. I mean, no, Twitch and Cog have sort of been talked about still being strong champions, but just taking away the ones that have the playmaking potential or at least the hard lane pressure. And Tristan, of course, being still available, very likely first pick at this point, I think.
It should be the first pick Tristana here, perhaps. Or maybe the Ornn. Oh, the Ornn's actually going to come
Yeah, okay,
through.
so it is the first pick.
Yeah, the first competitive match I'm seeing where the Ornn is actually picked. So
yeah, first
Ornn
pick and blind pick. Oh, he's doing his master.
And then there's the Tristana coming through. Yeah, comfort pick for Inax coming through. And we're going to see a Lee Sin hover by this Haxa.
We're trying to watch a draft. Stop doing your masteries.
We can just about make out the pictures on the right-hand side. Not the ideal scenario, but it's good enough, to be honest. It works out.
Sorry, you saved it now. We're okay.
Tiny, you know. Yeah, it could be worse. They could be chatting in the chat, right, and some terrible things. So jungle-wise, you know, Lee Sin is playable, but you kind of have to be a god. Jarvan is certainly a go-to safe pick, especially because it synergizes quite well if your opposing team takes it with the Ornn. But the thing is, Ornn, I believe, can destroy terrain, and so he can kind of handle the Jarvan to an extent where he can break the Cataclysm. Not, you know, not necessarily the best pick into it, but certainly something you don't want to play against either.
Caesar, still determined to make this Sejuani work and to pick this Sejuani, was not punished nowhere near enough as I would have expected a Sejuani-Jarvan matchup in Sejuani's current state in the game. Maybe Taxa will abuse this Sejuani pick a bit more in this matchup. The Shen actually coming through for Shikari to play on the top lane. And I don't know how he's going to do against Ornn. Ornn being a very solid tank killer, solid lane bully in the top lane. But if Shikari is going to be able to hold the Ornn and anticipate some bot lane ganks, some Stand United ganks on the bot lane with the Jarvan Shen delivery, they could accelerate the bot lane and speed up the game by taking the bot lane tower like they should have done last game and like Golden Glue mentioned. A lot better this game, hopefully.
Oh yeah, and so last time, ESL had a lot of problems dealing with their mid lane champion pool once Singularity started putting the bans in there. I think it was Talia and Ziggs, in fact, that were banned last time from Singularity. So they could even put a third ban into the mid lane here and really try and crush Krumel's pool. Certainly an option they have. I mean, alternatively, they might want to try and take away maybe a support they don't want to play against, but doesn't seem quite as viable here.
Yeah, actually taking away the Morgana.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very comfortable pick for Orcs, the Morgana. He's played it a lot.
Yeah, XL banned that last last draft. XL were actually banning the Morgana away, so clearly it is obviously quite a strong pick. Works quite nicely as well into Sejuani, Varus, you know, because they have CC that is kind of react-toable, because you can put down this shield. And open picks at this point, just take the support and counter pick mid. I mean, that would be the go-to strategy, right?
That's standard for red side. Thresh actually coming through
from
Orcs.
Sensor.
No Ardent Sensor.
What a time to be alive.
It's the dream. We're here.
Could it be? A game with... Actually, we could even see a game with no Ardent at all. If there's Alistair... It's happened. It's happened. No Ardent Sensor. What a time to be alive. Are we going to see the Lux hover? I've been hearing some rumors down in the benches that Lux is a strong meta champion. Now, I don't believe this at all, but maybe. You never know. All right, Syndra instead. That is preferred.
By Parascree. Very comfortable pick for him. Restored back to the Syndra that he's used to. And Krumel actually going to get the counter matchup that should allow him to maintain some mid-priority. Now, I'm not a fan of Syndra against Jarvan at all. If Jarvan's able to potentially do a level 2 cheese gank by taking the red buff, going straight to mid lane to burn a Syndra flash early, and then is able to farm to level 6 quickly, that Syndra is going to be able to be camped an awful lot in the mid lane.
Yeah, and a big worry here as well is that if Parascree is able to snowball again, like Syndra is the kind of champion that you can absolutely carry on. So if we see a similar scenario last time where there's a big skill discrepancy, that is going to be disastrous for XL.
Shout out to our Steadicam operator as well, Mike.
Yeah,
probably the longest few minutes of his life, trying to just hold and focus, not shake too much. Did a fantastic job. But we've seen the draft then, guys. Are you leaning any way in favor of either team after what you've seen? Scudzy, we'll start with you.
I actually really like the XL draft. It's got a lot of potential to do a lot of work, especially on the bot side of the map with the Shen dives coming in through and the Jarvan. And if they're able to break the tower, they've actually got the Tristana instead of the Ashe, AD carry that's able to break towers a lot easier. So if they're able to sort of speed up the game, that the game plan that they had for last game this time, they should be able to get closer to a victory.
Well, we'll see what is going to happen then in this second game of the grand final. To run us through the action, it's time. It's Jaws and it's Foxtrot.
Thank you very much, guys. Once again, Singularity finding the first win over XL. And XL coming in the favourites as well. That's going to be a big shake-up coming into game number 2.
Yeah, and this is where your strong mental comes into play if you go down 0-1, especially when the pressure's on like this. Going down 0-2 is pretty scary, but being 1-on-1, slightly more appealing. So hopefully they can pull it out this time from their perspective. They really don't want to go 0-2, but it's difficult.
It's difficult. It will be. It's going to be a difficult game, especially with Parascree on this high-hitting, high-burst damage Syndra coming up against an Orianna.
Yeah, I mean, his Azir was phenomenal, really. Syndra can definitely have a high carry potential as well. I would say not as much as Azir, but I would also say that if we were expecting someone to be able to get 1v1 kills in mid lane, we'd probably see it more from a Syndra than from an Azir. So we'll see. He's already proven he can do it with the difficult champion. Maybe he can do it with the easy champion this time.
He's done it once. Can he do it again? We're going to jump onto the rift with game number 2. They've switched sides. Singularity versus XL. Singularity on the blue. XL over on that red. And one thing we need to quickly point out, Foxtrot. That is the Ornn pick up in the top lane for Kerberos. We know he's a big fan of off-meta picks. His Kayle is somewhat feared. But now, picking up that Ornn.
Ornn is scary. And I think the scariest thing about Ornn is that we haven't seen it in competitive. I mean, all the competitive tournaments we've seen so far have been on the Worlds patch, and this is on live. So Ornn, I think, is very strong and very good in the lane 1v1, especially against tanks. So Kerberos, a very strong player, great carry player as well. And whereas Ornn is not traditionally a carry champion, you can still carry on Ornn. So they put a lot of pressure into the top side last game in the early. And Taxa, it's the exact same jungle matchup. Taxa Jarvan, Seza Sejuani. So we might see a bit of a repeat there. And if anything, it's easier for Taxa to gank top lane this game than it was last game. So we might be seeing that going down. But maybe he'll decide to put bot lane behind as well, because they did play around that last game with XL. And it didn't really work out too well for them. But like Scuzzy pointed out, it's easier now for them to get stuff going because they have Tristana who's able to break down towers.
It's going to be the Turret Buster.
Indeed.
Should be a Turret Buster skin. Although Tristana has a lot of skins already. We don't need any more.
You can get a free skin if you do something like follow them on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah?
Yep.
Sub to League of Legends on YouTube and you get the free Riot Girl Tristana.
Riot Girl
skin.
Tristana.
Oh boy.
Not the only person you should sub to on YouTube, just saying.
Oh yeah. And who might that? Oh, Fi, you mean?
Oh yeah. Oh. Absolutely. What a ledge.
What a ledge. Ceza's Sejuani rolls off the tongue. He's going to start
Look
that
at this
blue
path
side this time.
by Taxa, by the way. He's looking for the cheeky level 2 gank mid. Jarvan's good at doing this, especially when you start red buff, but it's very cheesy. We'll see if it works.
Parascree, I think he's a little bit aware at least. Stepping forward though.
Oh.
Dissonance, flag, drag, instantly shoved away. Ding level 2 as that minion did die as well, quite close to him. And it was going to be pretty easy divergence from him. No summoning spells burn as well, which is quite important for the Syndra early on.
If you want to do that level 2 gank top lane, mid lane, that cheesy level 2 gank, you need to go before the mid laner hits level 2. As soon as he goes in, the mid laner hits level 2, so an easy disengage there, no summoners blown. And this does mean that Ceza now has the advantage in the jungle path, so if a level 3 play goes down, Sejuani will get there much earlier than Jarvan will. Jarvan's still working on his second camp, Sejuani finishing her third already.
I speak about Ornn really quickly there because, like Serge said, like Scudzy said, there hasn't been too much play. And we're not on the Worlds patch either. We're on patch 7.21. 720 did receive a couple of changes. His Bellows Breath did get nerfed. His the percent max HP damage did get decreased. But the Searing Charge, his E, did get increased in range. So realistically, you're going to be able to pin people down more often than not, quite spectacularly against the Volcanic Rupture, which is the ability you can see there, but the percentage was nerfed on the W. Now, is this really going to affect him in lane against Shen, and how is he really going to actually combat the ability for Shen to just go all in all the time, you know, go straight under him, Spiritual Refuge, good luck auto-attacking me?
Well, I think the most interesting thing about playing Ornn, in the 1v1 at least, is that you don't have to recall to buy items, unless they're consumables. And he's gone for the refillable potion, so he doesn't need to recall for health potions. So this means that if he plays it right, he can get so much pressure against Shen without Shen being able to recall. And you don't want to be down in items when you're fighting your lane opponent. And if that does happen, then Shen might be forced to recall and teleport back, and all will have that advantage. So that's what I'm excited to see.
The scary thing is, with that Living Forge, he can step out when he's out of combat, create a new item, and then come back to the lane and go, oh, hey, Shikai, I've been away for like half a second. Didn't even teleport, by the way. Didn't go back to base. And I've got an item advantage.
Catalyst.
Catalyst.
Boom.
Instantly bought in, yeah.
And getting that at such a low level, considering that gives you regeneration when you level up, that's exactly what you want in this lane. I mean, that's actually quite a smart way around the fact that you can't buy refill like potions or wards or anything like that, consumables, because that would be cheating if you do that without recalling. But that's a nice way around it, because Catalyst just does that. It gives you that regen in lane without having to buy the consumables instead.
Yeah, the only thing you will need to go back to base for if he gets extremely low, for example, or if he does want to refill his refillable potion, which he's currently out of. Shikari, like he says, can have a little bit of a tougher time now with that Catalyst on board. Obviously, his second part of his passive is worth discussing as well. Master Craftsman does allow an upgrade of an item to his allies as well. So that could be a death cap.
Oh, here we go.
In fact, it's going to get jumped on. Hang on a second. Flag, drag, already flashed. Orcs, flash, hook. Does end up missing, but Thunderlords from Taxa. He's going to flash forward as well. Parascree with the heal. They're still chasing him. Orcs' cooldown's going to be up in a couple of seconds, and Ignite should finish him off. And that's first blood yet again to Inax.
That was a quite a tilting way to die, I think, if you're Paris right there. Look at that. Who expects to die right there at level 5 when you're playing mid lane? But a really, really nice play by XL as well to catch him out in that position. Really good team synergy there as well, I would say, is the most important thing there, because that was the whole team coming together there, with the exception of the top lane, of course. And even Orianna, who didn't get an assist, was there to zone away the Varus and the Alistair.
She helped as well, is what you're saying.
She is helping.
She was present, even though an assist was not earned. That's what I say every time I just sit in mid, while my enemy mid laner ropes.
While I'm taking chickens and my mid laner dies.
By the way, I've just taken 3/4 health on turret. I know she got a double kill bot lane, but turret's almost dead, boys. I'm going to get first blood turret in a sec.
I really like the fact that Syndra's gone for double Dorans as well. This is more early power than if she'd gone for something else. And considering she also recalled in a really awkward amount of gold because she died, the fact that she's gone for boots as well kind of, to me, suggests that she's kind of expecting a bit of a tricky lane phase. Speaking of tricky lane phases, what's going on here? What's happening? Where are you going on? Going for a stroll, buddy.
It's going all the way down to the bottom lane. Xmati and Shifter now rotating towards the top side. Singularity don't want to put that Alistair and the Thresh. Alistair and the Thresh. Alistair and the Varus up against the Thresh and Tristana. Not when she's got a BF sword over your Varus. So they end up swapping lanes with Kerberos going to the bottom lane. But now they're doing exactly the same thing. Shikari recalling is going to go bot side. And now Inax and Orcs are going to make their way top side.
This is a really interesting lane swap. They are genuinely just going to lane swap again. That is, I get, they're probably trying to get the jump on XL there, but XL had actually timed their recall quite nicely to be able to react to that as soon as they saw it.
The double dip.
Yeah. But that was something.
That was something.
But now they will have the jump on XL, because they are going back to the bot lane, and XL hasn't predicted that. It's a double bluff.
Yeah. And so Cess is actually going to meet the wave here as well, so no real minions lost. He's still going to be able to secure that gold. So
and no chip damage either. And with the changes that happened ages ago now that made lane swapping not as effective, they made the bot lane towers weaker in the early levels. So even though Tristana has that pushing advantage over Varus, it's going to be easier to kill this bot tower than it is to kill this top tower. So that might actually work in Singularity's favor, despite not having that actual advantage on the picks.
Uh-oh, hang on a second. Kerberos is going to go a little bit low. That box does come out, and Krumel's going to be here as well. 5-man dive, but the taxa wasn't even needed. Neither was Krumel. They find their second kill on the board, and they might just find a turret as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about the fact it's easier to kill bot tower than top tower. Well, I think that's a bit of a more vulnerable tower when there's 4 people there, and it's on half health. So that was a really nice play there. Adapting to the fact that Singularity went for the lane swap, and they're actually diving bot as well, it looks like, too, or maybe just walking up onto the tower for some reason. That's level 5.
Nice taunt onto Shifter. Does end up backing off, but that's really big. ESL really prioritise taking the turret wherever their bottom lane is. Last time they were first, turret gold did go over to them in the bottom side when Inax and Orcs were there. This time they rotated top side after Singularity shenanigans. They secure top first turret gold as well, and that all went on to Inax as well, mind you. Orcs and Tax actually backed off to make sure he got solo gold. You know exactly when they're piling their resources, and something that Orcs said earlier on as well was the fact that Inax is a clutch player. Absolutely. He said in the interviews, like, I'm not scared of being on stage. In fact, I think it really helps me in those situations coming clutch. So putting all your resources on a Tristana as well, it's perfect times.
Absolutely.
For ESL.
Tristana, as far as Inax is concerned, he'd much rather be ahead on Tristana than what he was last game when he was playing the Ashe. I mean, I was down on the stage before these games even went live, and Inax was playing solo queue, playing Tristana. He loves this champion, and it's a good champion in the meta, hence why they, on the first rotation, picked it up. Inax is really, I mean, it's all on his shoulders now in this game, but he said he loves the pressure, he loves going for it, so let's see if they can keep it going.
They love going for this as well. Shifter's got the bomb and he's going to activate. Oh, there's the Traitor Corruptions, knocks Inax straight back. He's going to get ignited as well. Stan United from Shikari is going to find one, and Kerberos comes in with the call of the god. Also to get the 3-man play, but he's going to go really low as well. Singularity turning this one around. Taxa is going to be the next to fall. Shikari does get Glacial Prism, but he's going to be able to get out.
Inax has both summoners up, and he's dead. He went a little bit too hypey on that play. Also, I feel like the way they played the Shen engage right there, they put it onto the Jarvan thinking that Shen would be able to get in earlier, but it didn't really happen anything there. I think Inax needed that shield to survive a bit longer. He's got both summoners, so you know, a little bit of extra love in there. He may have been able to keep it going. As we're seeing here, the Shen goes in on the Jarvan, and that shield is completely wasted. Inax gets popped straight away, and from here it's just a mop-up. A really, really solid skirmishing team. This Ornna is disgusting, by the way, for this kind of play. Absolutely vile.
Call of the Forge God. Here comes Kerberos again. Matty Matty is going to find the heal on to his Alistair, but it's going to go down and flash away from Inax just to make sure he gets out nice and safety. There's a bit of redemption for ESL, taking out the support of Singularity, and they might just find a Dragon too.
Whoa.
That was close. They both used Flash, and Parascrew used heal there, so that was a spicy mid lane duel yet again.
Yeah, imagine if Orianna had a second combat summoner rather than the cleanser. That would have been... I mean, she has to take the cleanser versus Sejuani and Syndra, of course, but that's really what ESL wants to see, considering last game performance, considering the fact that the Azir absolutely popped off from Singularity, solo kill is going down. That is really nice. The fact that they can pick a safer pick as well in Orianna, and they really want to get that stability back in the mid lane. That's what they were lacking last game.
Speaking of last game, this is eerily reminiscent of last game. ESL, in fact, we'll see the small engage that happened in the mid lane. Parascrew going extremely low. Krumel, not much mana either.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, the flash from Krumel. He's going to heal just to get out of there. Minions almost took him down, but they're back in the mid lane. Sessa is going to find the Glacial Prism execute onto Krumel. And that'll be a kill on the board for Singularity.
That's nice. You said that this strategy, this game is eerily similar to last game. I would say it is if ESL were able to do what they wanted to do. Like, they went bot lane, they tried to get that 3v2 going, they tried to get that push going into the tower, and they weren't able to do it. But this game, they're able to play around Inax on Tristana, and they're able to actually get these towers broken down. But that's a really nice kill there, taking advantage of the fact that Orianna has no ultimate, has no flash. An easy kill there.
Well, let's have a look at their late games then, because more often than not, that's where these teams historically do end up, or want to end up. ESL's composition last time had this incredible amount of damage in the form of the Xerath if they could get it going. It got shut down by Parascrew. and Parascrew was on this Azir, which couldn't be touched because of the massive frontline from Sejuani and Cho'Gath last game. We're now in the game with an Ornn. Sessa's now on this Sejuani yet again, and Parascrew's on this one-shot Syndra, looking to just take out and erase Inax and Matty X. Again, there's so much CC from Singularity and so much potential for them to just hide behind these tanks, but then XL, they've got this wombo combo composition, the age-old shockwave straight from the Cataclysm from Taxa. They want to fight, and they are going to instantly blow someone up, but if they don't, there's going to be Parascree and Matty X to answer as well. The longest Matty X is in the fights, he's going to be dishing out more and more damage with this Guinzo's build.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really scary build. Varus with that is a huge amount of damage. Getting this Rift Herald as well, this is what's really going to break the game open, and I love the fact that XL are going for this because these are the ones, this is the team with that mid lane tower being threatened because it's low. I don't know exactly how much health XL's tower is on, but that's probably one push worth of health. So being able to pick up the Herald here means they can go for the mid push later on.
XL looking like they want to go for a dive. Siv's just going to walk straight into the brush. He is going to pop the ultimate, but he's not long for the world as he knows Orianna's on the other side of the wall as well. They're just waiting for it to die off. He should just be going down. Inax is going to be able to pick up the kill, but meanwhile Parascree pushing at that mid lane, but basically free there with Sessa on the other side of the wall. Has got Glacial Prism straight over, finds the stun. There's the unleashed power. Parascree will find a kill.
That's a really smart position here. Another one popping up.
Coming in, Ornn straight in the middle of everything, and Parascree gets jumped on. There comes the Call of the Forge God ripping through XL, and Orcs is going to fall as well. Shikari, nowhere left to run, gets pinned and blown up by Parascree. Double buffs and a 3-1 Syndra now bare on the base of XL.
That was such a good fight from Singularity there as well. What a smart play by Sejuani to wait, knowing that they were going to rotate back to mid lane. I would have liked to see Orianna stay mid as well, just to defend that mid tower before, rather than going up for the Alistar. But that was really, really smart capitalization on that. And I mean, they just lost a team member. Alistar's dead at this point, and they still decide to pull the trigger on that play. That's a lot of confidence right there. Inax, unfortunately, they've dedicated all their resources to this guy, and he wasn't able to do anything there. He flashed into the chicken pit to try and get an angle onto Syndra in that team fight. Got maybe 1 or 2 auto attacks off and then had to back away. So the fact as well, here we go, we're seeing it again. This is a smart positioning, right in the blind spot of XL. And then keep your eyes on Inax as well right here, because this is the guy who needs to carry this fight. He's already used his jump, doesn't get much with that, and then flashes to the side as well. 2 auto attacks, that's not enough. And the rest of the team from XL just has nothing. They can't win these fights unless Inax pops off. And you lose your mid laner in that situation as well. That's a tricky one to lose right there.
They did lose, Singularity did lose their mid-tier 1 as XL did rotate and use that Rift Turret. It was handily taken care of with the rest of Singularity stopping it at the tier 2. Inax, he was sitting on 1.5 items in that situation as well. Infinity Edge and a Zeal, that's not much attack speed, even if you do pop your Q. Like you said, not really enough damage to take out a Syndra that has a level advantage as well. She is now 3-1, level 12, got an item on board, but not only has she got a Morello's Foxtrot,
baby.
He's got 8 stacks on the Magi.
Oh, that's not what you want to see. You put all your eggs in the Inax basket, and what is the one thing you don't want to see from the enemy team? The R outplay with the Magi's. Gosh, that's going to be really tricky. They do have good protection, at least, with the Orianna shield, with the Shen ultimate as well, and their team comp is very much dedicated to, let's go forward. So Jarvan can catch Syndra, Thresh can catch Syndra. There's a lot of catch, even from a Shadow Dash flash as well, from Shen. There's a lot that can catch the Syndra out. She has no cleanse, so if they catch her, she's vulnerable. If they don't catch her, God help Inax's soul.
Well, that's what I did propose to you earlier on. Taxa is going to flag and drag over the wall to Sessa. In fact, he's going to follow that up with a Cataclysm as well. Kremel's going to be here, and Axe jumping over the wall. That's 1 dead Sejuani. Kremel finds a kill, but Shikari in a lot of trouble now. Here comes the God of the Forge Gods. Easy kill for the Ornn, mixed with the Syndra damage. Didn't even need to unleash power. They trade 1 for 1 across the map. What are XL going to do now? Looks like they just want to force this tier 2 bottom lane, top lane.
They do have that initiative to move to the top side, because that's where they got the kill on Sejuani. And Singularity now have to recall because they got the kill bot lane. So they should be able to get some good stuff going onto this tower, unless we get some kind of heroic play, last stand sort of thing on this tower. But Well, Syndra is positioning for the flank here. I think they might go for it.
Kerberos is coming up the lane as well. XL are just willing to back off ASAP. Didn't even want to take the turret. They know
she wants
Paris
it.
Gree's there. They've actually pinged her out, or at least they think so. Inax is half HP as well.
Yeah.
That's one counterplay on the R from Syndra.
That is a long trek. Take it from someone who can't bother to walk down to the shops when you run out of milk. She ran from bot lane almost all the way to top lane just looking for Inax. That's dedication right there. She really wanted that one. But they do defend the tower, which is good.
One thing I've got to point out, this is the second time in a row we've seen Paris Gree with a massive CS advantage over Krumel. 191 to 142 now. That's a 50 CS lead at the 18-minute mark. Absolutely massive, and it shows you how much pressure Singularity do like to put in the mid lane if he doesn't get ahead early. Paris Gree didn't find those solo kills this time around, so Sessa didn't really camp mid, but he was sure as all heck was going to help him out, get him a couple of kills, and apparently give him a red buff as well.
Yeah, I mean, as if you don't need anything else, why not just take the red buff as well? I feel like they've done that a lot. If you watch this game, when Singularity's pushed into the XL's base, they take a lot of the jungle, but they're setting up for an engage here now.
Flag, drag over the wall. Kremel's going to be here as well. Call to the Forge. God is going to find Orcs. Orcs going very low. Has to flash over the wall. Shifted with a two-man pulverize. Orcs with a massive shield. Massive shockwave into the hook on X-Matty. He ends up going down first. Syndra in the back line trying to assassinate Kremel, but he's going to flash out of the fray. She finds a double kill regardless. Assassinates the two carries of XL, but she's going to get collapsed on. Kerberos is going to have to finish this fight up with the help of Sessa. One knock-up, two knock-up onto Shikari. Spirit's Refuge only just making sure he gets out alive for the moment, but a triple kill for Paris Gree means he's still on 14 stacks.
They would manage to shut him down though, that's the important thing. Getting the shutdown, scary though, we said all the eggs were in the Inax basket. Once he falls, the whole team fight looks bleak. A very nice shockwave though. I thought it was gonna whiff, not going to lie, but it catches X-Matty just on the cusp right there. Comboed into a sick hook as well from Thresh. Picking up the AD carry straight away, I mean, that's a pretty good way to win a team fight when you're from behind. I mean, look at this. Watch this shockwave coming through. Oh, he's already dead. Missed a shockwave. But then Inax is gone at this point. And what do you do when you're XL, when you're hyper carry, AD carry? The person who you're relying on everything to carry through this game when he's donezo. Well, the rest of the team fight's kind of donezo as well. But they do shut down Paris Gree. That's the important thing. If he dies, you get that team-wide bonus gold. And it's something, at least.
They've still got 14 stacks.
Well,
the Magi's.
Oh gosh.
Yes. Oh gosh. It's looking pretty devastating in all honesty.
That's probably a leak from XL comms right now. Every single one. Oh gosh.
Oh no.
They had Matty bot lane as well there. Singularity do not care at this point. They're not afraid of XL's potential to take advantage of this. They're just sticking people everywhere.
Last game at 22 minutes, which we are approaching. Singularity were 4K gold in the lead. At this time, 21 minutes in, they are 6,000 gold in the lead now.
A lot of it's
their
in the mid
advantages
lane.
Across games. You aren't wrong, 7-2 on the Syndra. Inax doesn't stand a chance. He's actually picked up a Hex Drinker of all items to make sure he can survive in these fights. But I think Paris Gree's got a little bit too much damage for that to even be necessary.
I mean, he does. It's such a sad position where you want your carry to have the items, the ability to do.
Oh, the flag drag straight to Cataclysm. Orcs finds the hook as well. This is the pick that they needed. XL find the pick on Paris Gree, and that's a kill over to Taxa.
But what do they get from that? That's the question. Do they look towards the Baron? Can they take this one down? They're not ahead enough in this game to comfortably take this 4v5. Or I should say, they're too far behind to comfortably take a 4v5 with your jungler on that health. So they're going to turn.
It's a big old debate, but XL are going to get found out. Shikari does have teleport and stand united, hence him being on the other side of the map right now. Kerberos, same with a teleport. Yep. No such ultimate, but calling a god on amongst your team is always kind of nice. Gives you an extra bit of backup. Ornn's ultimate, by the way, is terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
If you've ever played against Ornn in a solo queue.
Yeah, Ornn is such a strong champion. I mean, you're seeing it here as well. Just the whole team fighter presence that this guy has. And also, I mean, you don't really pick Shen for the team fights in that sense. Like, you don't have that one game-winning ability. Maybe if you get a Taunt Flash off, but obviously nothing compared to Ornn's ultimate. You pick Shen so that you can get this ultimate down, so that you can make cross-map plays a little bit easier, and they really haven't been able to find that this game. And it's disappointing for XL to find a pick on the strongest member and not be able to turn it into a Baron like Singularity are going for here.
They got a lot of damage as well. It's already down to about half HP. Kerberos did teleport in. Taxit is on the other side of the wall and will get spotted by those walls. Chains of Corruption do end up missing. Singularity, however, are just going to back off the Baron, even though it's only about 3,000 HP. They are aware Shikari didn't even need to teleport. There is the Forge of the Gods. Oh my goodness, that CC chain, way too much, and Stan United didn't even channel through. Krumel ends up getting picked off, and Shifter, of all the people to pick up the kills, he manages to secure his first of the game.
I wasn't aware they put a trampoline on Summoner's Rift. I don't think Krumel was aware either. That is the downside of having Cleanse against his team comp, is it doesn't protect you versus being airborne. And the Ornn ultimate makes you airborne. She gets caught, can't click the Lantern. Singularity going for an in-hit.
It's a nice little snipe by Xmatty. Does find a little bit of damage onto Inax. Shikari already falling pretty low. Shifter just runs straight into 3 members of it, XL, but he's got the ultimate to keep him safe. They do end up securing it as well. Krumel is up in 4 seconds and does have Shockwave, but Singularity more than content to just find and pick off this inhibitor first. He is going to come in, flag and drag onto Taxa. He's found Xmatty, but now he's all alone. Singularity with a shockwave from Krumel hits 3 people, but seemingly it doesn't matter at all. Kerberos is very low, chasing Shikari, finds the kill, or at least Xmatty secures it. They do end up securing the inhibitor without losing a single member. Paris Gree almost taking out the bottom lane duo of XL, all on his lonesome.
That was so close. Single-digit HP right there for sure. A great shockwave really to catch 3 people, but the only 2 people it didn't catch were the 2 carries, and those are the people you need to catch.
Speaking about catching carries, Xmatty takes a hook, but a Glacial Prism will find Orcs in return. Krumel, no shockwave, hardly other mana either. Inax, he wants the resets, he sees the low health bars, but Singularity, more the wise, are just going to back off for the time being.
And that's all Singularity needs to do right here, just reset, and reset quickly, because you don't want to lose this Baron right here. I mean, Shen has the TP as well. If XL gets something here, they could turn onto the Baron.
Shifter doesn't have ultimate, and there's actually a teleport as well coming through from Shikari. He's just as good as dead here. Inax is going to be able to find the kill, and they start the Baron straight away. Sejuani, Cesar didn't actually end up going back, does have the regeneration from the Warmogs. Here comes the Forge God, and he will end up finding Inax, but backing off rather sharpish because he is fairly low. Cesar goes in, doesn't quite find anything just yet, and Paris grew very low. Shockwave finds Cesar, and they manage to pick up the kill. Inax going for the resets, doesn't quite get deleted by the Unleashed Power. That's the Hex Drinker coming in proud.
Oh, that's so scary.
They can't find the Baron, but they end up finding 2 kills instead.
Seeing your AD carry jump into a Syndra like that is just terrifying.
Oh, Kerberos, wrong place, wrong time, buddy. One by one, XL are picking off the members of Singularity.
And if XL want to get back into this game, this is what they need to do. They've got a team comp that's good at creating picks. Orcs is playing phenomenally on this Thresh. Sometimes it's harder to stand out when you're playing support. This guy's landed hook after hook after hook, and they're getting a lot of picks. Singularity getting a little bit sloppy here, not really respecting XL all too much. But all it takes is one hook from Orcs, and suddenly things get a little bit scary. They still have to lick their wounds, not able to get the Baron. That would be a massive turnaround if they were able to get that. But things are looking better for XL right now.
More importantly, I think Singularity, they are happy with the inhib they did secure top lane. In fact, a lot of damage did go into that one of those Nexus turrets as well, so that won't be long for the world if the minions do end up crashing in, but that's probably the best inhibitor for XL to have down, because they can easily defend top lane and then rotate to the Baron very quickly. If it was the bottom lane inhib, this game would be completely different. Singularity would have so much more of an advantage, it would seem. Xmatty, by the way, has picked up that Guardian Angel just to make sure he does survive in these fights, and that initial burst damage that comes out Krumel isn't going to be all too welcome normally, but at least he's got a revive on his side.
Yeah, and the cool thing about you mentioning that this inhib top is the best one to be down, exactly right. Like, it means that the whole team can just stack top lane, defend super minions, and still be around to contest Baron. But more importantly, it means that Shen can now go off in a side lane like he likes to do, and can push. Doesn't have to just defend super minions. He can actually push bot lane, has the threat up from his ultimate, so that if something happens, he can join the team fight, and it's all good. And we were talking about all the eggs being in the Inax basket. He's 7-2-2 right now. but he did have to itemize for that more of Mortius. I'm not saying that's a bad pickup. I'm saying that's not what you want to see when you're relying on someone to pump out the deeps, because that's a detour right there. You don't want to have to get that as your third item. But they're starting at the Baron now.
Singularity, they have found a pick. There comes the Forge God, but the Stan United will hopefully save him. Chains of Corruption do land as well. Another massive knockoff from Cesta will sentence him to the base. Double kill for Paris Gree, and that's Singularity picking off 2 members. That is one fed Syndrome. He's back at 16 stacks. No jungler down, though, is still at risk of that Baron being stolen. However, they want to actually take him out. Flag, drag, there's the stun as well. Kerberos got a lot of damage. Scatter the weak comes through. Big shockwave. Jumps in the middle of 3 people, but he's just going to get deleted as he tries to reset. He finds the kill onto Paris Gree, and now Krumel is the last member, realistically, that's going to be able to defend. Cesta chasing him up, is going to find the stun as well. Kerberos flashing forward. Searing charge doesn't quite land. Krumel makes it back to base in the end, but all the meanwhile, Xmati is just ruining their base.
He wasn't even there the whole time. I don't think I've ever seen a Tristana bunny hop into 4 people like that. That was a ballsy play. Picks up the Syndra, but that's not enough.
Singularity, they're going to be able to just take these 2 Nexus turrets with ease. Xmati still alive. Krumel goes down, and now it's all up to Shikari and Orcs, but little did they know it's going to be Singularity taking game number 2 as soon as they knock down this Nexus. And match point will be on the board for them as well. XL, they need to change something up, and they need to do it fast.
I talked about before that game started, going down 0-2. Your strong mental has to come